To order for the City of San Juan, it's a special call meeting today, May 26, 2016, at 5:34. If we can rise for an invocation. Mayor Pro Tem Garza, can you please lead us in an invocation?
Yes, ma'am. Lord Jesus Christ, thank you for bringing us here today, this evening. Lord, bless us, bless our families, and bless our wonderful city of San Juan, and that you guide us to make us the best decision. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Let us face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Y'all may be seated. Under item 4 for discussion and possible action is a discussion and possible action to enter into a contractual agreement with Cool River Media regarding a summer event. And I've called for this meeting after some discussion with Mr. De Los Rios on an event that he spoke to us, and he did talk about it being time sensitive. That's why I wanted to go ahead and put it before the commission for consideration. And he is present today to talk about this event and how it can be beneficial to the city and what it would entail. So I'd like to go ahead and I know, and Mr. De Los Rios, for the record, he's the one that was assisting in the coordinating of the current Mayfest that we just held this past Saturday. So, Mr. De Los Rios, I'd like you to please come forward, and I would really appreciate you telling us what you explained to us Saturday.
And before he proceeds, I just spoke with him. It's really a clarification. It's not really for a contractual, it's more
Okay.
a presentation right now.
Okay, very good.
And I guess, Mayor, Commissioners, thank you. What I'm doing this year, we've been doing it for the last 4 years. I am the representative for Miller Coors out of Chicago. What I do is I do special events for them. The whole, pretty much we do Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and the Rio Grande Valley. What we do is a Miller Lite concert series. Miller Lite has put in a $5 million budget for us to do a branding campaign. And we divide that among certain areas, and pretty much Texas gets a good chunk of it. We're looking at a couple of locations that either we're gonna rent, or if it's a municipal or local entity that we can utilize to hold our functions. The last couple of years, we've been doing them indoors. This year, we're doing outdoors. We have 2 locations in mind. We have the Rio Grande Valley Livestock Show, and the second location was here in City of San Juan. Now, obviously, when you do these events, everyone feels, as a municipality, what is gonna be the part that you all are gonna put in? Well, obviously, there's none, because pretty much we pretty much cover 100% of the event, because it's our event. So we're just trying to utilize the location. Now, what's happening is that we have a scheduled date for August the 27th in the city of Mercedes. The issue we're running into with the city of Mercedes at the Livestock Show grounds is that their committee wants us to pay an X amount of dollars for the facility, but they want to charge for parking. Well, we can't promote a free event and charge for parking. So our second option would be either City of San Juan, or not our third option is going to be Los Fresnos Rodeo. So in this place, what we're looking at is, one would be parking. That's something that we see that the city lacks around that area. You know, we're looking at bringing in 2 country headliners, which would be Josh Abbott, which I have a contract with, and Mark Chestnut. And then we would do an additional 2 more country groups that are smaller, and then we would do 4 Tejano bands, which we have Marcos Orozco and Jimmy Gonzalez. Now, we did discuss a little bit about it. You know, of course, we would provide stage, sound, everything we need. We would contract all your officers that we need, cleanup crews, insurances, liabilities. Like I said, the city would not provide a dollar. The only concern that we have right now was, and we wanted to find out if you all were able to accommodate parking. That's what we're lacking right now before we move forward, because we have to look at the options. We're doing one in Palmview July the 9th, where I have Pesado playing out there, and we're working with the city of Palmview out there, and we're doing the same identical thing that we're gonna do at any other location. It just depends on if we're gonna rent or not. I mean, we're willing to rent the location. It's just gonna come back to the parking. That's the issue that we have. So that's, if the city can come back and say you have enough area to maybe park 5,000 cars, then we can bring this event to the city of San Juan, by all means. And it's 21 and over. We would be doing a cooking contest. We have 100 teams that would come in as well. So it's very beneficial because it'd be free and no one's gonna bring you a $150,000 event to your municipality for free. So this is why, these are the things that we're looking at before we make any decisions. Now, we got a couple of days left to play with. You know, what I was gonna do is sign the contract with Mercedes on Monday. I spoke to you, said we'll wait till Thursday just to make sure that if you all had parking, then we would do the event here.
Let's talk a little bit more about the event so we can get some numbers. Tell me how much you're going to be spending on advertisements and how many people this kind of event brings so that we can see what impact this kind of event would have as well.
Advertising, we're gonna do about $20,000. Obviously, you having two country acts of this magnitude, you're probably gonna get 15 to 20,000 people through the door. And, I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years. You know, we did one last year, well, we just did one in February there in the city of Donna with the Chisholm Trail, and we had Tracy Lawrence and Johnny. We had a little bit over 24,000 people. I have one on Sunday with Kevin Fowler there and Jimmy Gonzalez as well. So it's just gonna boil down to parking. I mean, that's there. As for branding, we have a GNR, which is out of Chicago-based media, that we also pay aside of doing the marketing, and they do all the Twitter, all the Facebook, all the Instagram. They do anything that's social media, online, they go above and beyond. So, I mean, the whole aspect is that if there's an event that transpires here, you will get very well recognized. Miller Coors also makes sure that they bring down here, and we're the only ones in the valley that actually get it down here. They pop down maybe about 500 cases of 16-ounce Miller Lite beer that has the Miller Lite Concerto logos on it. So that's something that they just don't do. They don't even do that for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's because they're sponsors of them. So they're very big on branding on that. So every display that pretty much Stripes or any of those entities, they would have your banner out there pretty much promoting the event. So we have some time, but we just need to make sure that there'd be enough parking. That's a concern.
Let me ask you, Mr. De Los Rios. I did attend that event that you had at the Chisholm Trail in Donna. I was very impressed with the outcome of that event. Now, but one thing I did notice was the parking. You know, you mentioned, I mean, obviously, parking's a big issue here. Where did the people park, like in Donna, though? Was there like, I mean, because what I saw, you know, I parked kind of like a distance, and, you know, I walked, but, I mean, where did they fit all these cars, you know?
There's about 4 different locations there right off business that are about 2-acre tracts that we utilize. We talked to the businesses, and we were able to use that for parking.
Okay.
And that's why we had these little golf carts shuttling everyone in and bringing them, then dropping them off back. So this is why if you all have a location, a piece of property that we can park at, we'll get someone to shuttle them out there.
Well, don't we have that lot across on First Street and Second?
That's one.
And then
That's one.
and then you got the south side of the baseball park. There's a lot there that we could probably talk to the owners. You have used it before for parking. And then on the north side, it's a little farther, but it's Los Cantú, La Cochilla. Cantú might let you, Arnold Cantú might let you use La Cuchilla there in that side. And then if you talk to the Basilica, or the Basilica owns the parking from Idea. So Father Amador would be the one to talk about the parking on Idea on Saturday. Those are different.
Areas.
Or not, I mean, we can also maybe talk to the business owners all along Old 83 as well.
The owners of Valencia, they allow us to park.
That's a very good point. That's a very good area.
That's a good area.
You're right.
And then if you get those shuttles or the golf carts to, you know, those trail, what do you call those little buses? Trolleys. You know, because when they do it in Hidalgo, they don't have that much parking either.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
Get about
that
20,
function,
25.
that Ayala puts there brings a lot of people, and I don't see that parking. Everybody's parking on the streets, and so I think so the accommodations can be there. There's no,
And like I said, we're up for anything. It's just, and pretty much the way we do it is, if we agree to it, I would send to the city manager requesting that park, and then fill out all the information, and then provide a liability insurance for the day that we're gonna do it. It would be 2 days, because obviously we'd be there Friday. It's a Saturday night event. We'd start off the cook-off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, running into that Saturday. And then the show would go on, where we would have 8 bands performing throughout the whole day. The event would finish by midnight, and then it is a Saturday night. I mean, so we wouldn't try to pass midnight, we'd just keep it there. We would contract I would have to do the square footage, measure everything to see how many officers we would need, how many people, cleanup crews, garbage cans, all of that. And like I said, it's just, it comes out to be the same. We do it at the livestock showgrounds. It's a big facility. They got power, they got lighting, they got plenty of parking. The problem is they want to charge, and they're gonna make maybe 50 times more than what they're gonna charge us for rent. So there's an opportunity here to publicize your city. I mean, bottom line, that's what it gets to. I mean, you're not gonna have these type of acts that are gonna come and perform, especially for free here, when someone else is picking up the tab. So I would really consider, if you guys are really interested in doing something like this, is put up a plan together, sooner the better, and that way we can have locations, and that way when I go back to corporate Monday morning or Tuesday after Memorial Day, say, hey, look, this is the location I'm selecting, and we move forward. Because the first thing they're gonna ask is gonna be parking. They have no issues with the location. They love the location. It's big enough. It's just the parking. And I mean, if we can solidify some little properties there, we'll put some cones out there, put some lighting, whatever we need to, and make some chloroplastic signs and put that there's parking there. And we'll even advertise it on the radio and TV, let them know that there's certain areas, and from there. And obviously, since it's English acts, that we're doing country, K-Tex is gonna play a big role in this event as well. They're gonna be partners of this. So, pretty much day in, day out, you hear all these commercials, I mean, so.
how strong do you advertise that 21 and older? Because I'm just concerned of when people
21
come in,
and-
when the people come in with their kids, and, I know that they're used to events, and here, especially here in San Juan, that we put that kind of restriction on. And I know it's because it's Miller Lite and all these people sponsoring, that it's more about, having beer there. But how do you work with that, or
On
the
the
advertisement
on the
covers it?
posters, we would implement that, and then also on the radio, it would be implemented, that pretty much let everybody, 21 and over. It's a free event, but it's 21 over. We will have, the officers that we hire will be at the door asking for ID. I mean, and it's just a policy that corporate put into place. The several things we're doing this year is that we're doing the 21 and over. Last year, we were doing 18 and over, but we were in facilities that we were doing them in, so it was, the capacity was maybe 4,000. This year, we're opening it up. We're also doing background checks on all the artists to make sure there's no issues. So with that, I mean, the way the angle is, the disc jockey's job, and we're gonna run the liners pretty much saying, look, we're having this event. It's an adult event. It's 21 and over, and they're gonna push it, and they're the ones who have to really sell it as that. But all the posters will say it. We'll have them on the entrances where everyone knows pretty much they're gonna come in. And it'd be the same thing we're doing in Palm View next month. I mean, we're gonna have the signs. I have a copy of the poster, and it says the same thing, 21 and over.
Yeah, my concern is just, that's good, and I just want to make sure that we get that across pretty much, because we don't want to come back with Noche de Paz or Cinco de Mayo or Mayfest, and people say, well, they're going to have the same. We want to make sure that it's clear that it's only that event, and that's the stipulations that you have, 21, for whatever reasons. I can understand that, but I just want to make sure that we get enough coverage on that 21 where people will not go out there and have all these kids and,
Yeah, no.
they turn us back and they feel uncomfortable.
I understand, and we have to be very aggressive on that, because obviously, you bring these type of acts. Josh Abbott is a Texas Country Act, big. They sell out shows here locally. When they come in, you're gonna have all kind of demographics try to show up. So this is why we have to be very adamant, make sure that, hey, it's 21 and over, I'm sorry, it is what it is, and from there. And you might have some that are trying to come in that might look like they're 30, but we gotta ID them regardless. I mean, That's why we're gonna have the officers. That's why they're being hired, to be put there in place to not only protect and make sure everything's good, but also at the door that we don't have any of that happening.
No, my concern is really the families, you know,
Yeah.
here goes a couple or with,
But 3 or 4
little
children,
kids,
yeah, and I understand.
Then they get
And then it's,
disappointed.
I mean,
but-
it's the valley,
so-
I mean,
so-
there's an event, but this is why we need to categorize as an adult event.
Right.
Not a family event. And when you do something like your Mayfest or Cinco de Mayo, Noche de Paz, you obviously say it's a family event, you got a carnival and XYZ, so on and
This
so
won't
on.
show a carnival.
There's
it's
no
just a
carnival
cook-off.
here, it's just gonna be a straight-up concert. You're gonna have some vendors selling some items, and, you know, just to keep them going and, you know, for them to do some dancing, have a good time, and so on.
So how are you going to, like, as far as the cook-off, you know, when they have these cook-offs, it's like family oriented. How are you gonna control that?
We're actually meeting with them next week for the one for Palmview, because we're doing the Cabrito cook-off out there, and they're gonna be notified that it's 21 and over.
Okay.
I mean, and before they come in and park their trailers or park in their RVs or their barbecue pits, you know, we're gonna have to check to make sure there's no kids. I mean, it's a policy that we need to follow across the board, and it's gonna be enforced and zero tolerance, and it is what it is, but I gotta protect my clients, my clients obviously gotta protect me, so we gotta do this. You know, it's gonna be pretty much where everyone that comes in has to get checked, ID or not, and if you look like you're 21 or 31 or 41, you're gonna get ID'd, because we need to be careful. I mean, you don't know what can happen. I mean, what happened in the past, and it didn't happen in this market, it happened in Phoenix. We had individuals that were going in, they were under 21, but you had someone that was 21, they would buy alcohol and give them to them, and then they'd start drinking, and, you know, they would leave, and there was an accident, and it came back where, hey, you know, you served them, no, we didn't, and so on and so on. So we're just trying to be safe about that, and then one of the things we do want to do is maybe contact a couple of these cab companies to be on standby. That when if anybody is, you know, intoxicated, maybe they can get, you know, take a taxi, go home, and we just got to make sure their vehicles don't get towed away or so on or so on. And from there, I mean, but it's, right now the ball's in your court. I'm looking to solidify the date, which I already have. The location is what I'm pending, and it's going to be, you know, A was obviously Mercedes. Things didn't go, you know, it's not going the way we want. It's up to City of San Juan or not, we go to Los Fresnos. And the rodeo arena's already agreed with us that they want to do this event out there. And they got plenty of parking. The only thing is that it's a long distance. So it just depends how you guys
Sure, I
feel.
think the benefit, and I think of something, an event like McAllen has with the parade, although different, still, the amount of crowd. One of the things that you will notice is that people decide, they know it's going to happen, they start looking for it. So they start making plans to be there, they drive down, they start staying in McAllen. They'll definitely go to eat in McAllen after the events. And so there's an investment in the community. What I saw as a positive was one, and the contract would reveal that it's not a single cost to the city. And liability, I know that we would definitely have coverage so that you're covered, so there's nothing that would in any way put the city in any type of liability, and that would be through contract to assure that. But what I like is the fact that San Juan gets a lot of publicity. And the people would descend upon San Juan, people will come and stay, people will come and eat. And one thing, of course, is once the recognition of the city, then it becomes something where it leads other type of opportunities to come in. And so what I found really good about your presentation was it's not going to cost us, and I want to make sure that at no time we're going to incur any kind of costs.
No cost at all. It's a zero.
Because we didn't budget.
Yeah.
So we have it, but the fact that you're stating, and as far as the shuttling, you'll take care of the shuttling, the driver, the gas,
Yeah, we
everything.
would take care of everything.
We
I
just
mean,
need,
at this point.
and I tell you that if we were to look at some of the properties that we have stated, I mean, I'm not sure that we would have 5,000, but we would definitely look at a sense of what those would create for space, and then we do own one piece of property that is 11 acres, but it's a distance. But that is a city-owned property along with the one on First Street. So I think when you look at how many cars if you look at parking, because not everyone's going to be able to fit, if you got 20,000 people descending upon San Juan or more, those properties are not going to fill up for 20,000. So what is the amount that you and your promoters are looking,
We're
if
looking
we're estimating 20,
roughly like
25,000 people?
people, I mean, like I said, we'll get 15,000 plus going up. I mean, without a doubt. It's just gonna be the parking. I mean, we get vehicles. The problems is, since that park where it's located at, the one you all have, there's a lot of residential areas. And I just don't want people to go and park in front of someone's resident and then it's gonna get towed away. That's one of the things
Right.
that has occurred in the past with other events I've done. So this is why we're just preferring to find locations and utilize those as parking. Because that's, the first thing they look for is they want to be as close as they can. Obviously, it's not going to happen, so, you know, they find a parking spot, they get a shuttle, you know what's even better. So that's what we're really looking at. I mean, like I said, the location is perfect. It's just coming back to parking. But if you all have some areas and you send me a map that has, you know, we can do parking here, here, by all means, I'll send the city manager an email, do a park request, follow all the guidelines that you need to, pull all the permits that need to, get paid for, I'll send them back an email. I need to talk to, whoever's in charge for the officers, hire all your staff, your cleaning crew, everyone that knows the ins and out here are gonna get employed. That's what we would do. And that's the same thing I'm doing in Palmview, that's the same thing I'm doing in Donna, that's the same thing I would do in every other town. There's no need for me to outsource from the outside when you already have the employees that do the day-to-day work. So that's pretty much where we're at. So,
And how many people do you think you would employ?
We'd probably get 15 to 20 officers, probably about 15 public works to work, and that'd be enough to cover it. And because they're not setting up anything, they're not tearing down anything. Everything that's coming in is being rented by the companies that come, set up, tear down. So really, that's it. Officers are gonna stand there just to make sure that the presence is there, crowd control. Public Works is there to do cleanup, throw the trash away, and that's pretty much it.
And so and let's go back to the advertising. When the advertising comes up, the only thing that gets tied back to the city of San Juan is just that it's in the city of San Juan.
Yes.
Okay, so there'll be no indication that we're sponsoring anything, other than it's being held
Yeah,
here.
it's being held in the city of San Juan. So, the name would be, you're looking at July 10th. On the 12th, we start promoting that August event. It's like 49 days, and so that means for those 49 days, all you're gonna hear is who's performing in the city. That's what you're gonna hear over and over and over. And of course, we have an event that's coming in that Live Nation brought in, which is Brad Paisley. That's at the State Farm. That's a paid show. It's not gonna even interfere with this because that's on a Thursday. This one's on a Saturday, so we'd be fine. You'd get the same type of advertisement on it. So the promotion in place is that it's publicizing your city. Pretty much it's out there. City of San Juan, City of San Juan. It's that we did it at the Livestock Showgrounds. It's in Mercedes. We would
Right.
publicize the town because that's where it's at. So, like I said, it just boils back down where location is great. Parking is just one of the question marks that I have in mind. If we can get that knocked out, then we can move forward.
And what's the date, Mr. De Los Rios?
August 27th. So the kids are all at school, so they would, they're off, but they'll be going back to school already, so I think we'd be good.
Okay, so, and it's still contingent on us providing some type of indication what was available to us, and,
Yes,
okay.
and that's all I need. Pretty much, if you can send me something in writing that you all have locations, I don't have a problem, because right now, we're the ones who are taking the risk. We have to make sure we also provide the rain insurance in case it rains, something happens, so we need to protect ourselves as the entity that's doing the event, that we're gonna be fine. The weather comes and goes, but usually you gotta look at it that first week of September coming in is white wing season, and it always rains. So we're running a big risk to do it here outside when the stock show is closed in, certain areas. But I would prefer to do it here.
Lo que pasa entonces se acaba la canícula, so it's hot.
Yeah. So like I said, it's up to y'all. y'all can get back to me, the sooner the better, but if you can map out something, come up with a game plan, I'll send them the email and I'll do the request, and I'm sure you all have the park request when someone wants to use the facility, and then follow everything that we need to, pull out the additional permits, and then, I'll be working, the only individual I would be working directly with would be the city manager, just to let him know, hey, this is what I need, officers, this is what we're gonna pay them, how many public works, this is location, and, that's pretty much it. And then in case, once we rent trolleys, we need them, who I'll contact and, get their drivers and so on and from there, but that's really about it. But we have it in the budget, so since we have it in the budget, it's beneficial to y'all. That's a good thing about it.
Okay,
My question will be for Mr. Arjona. How are we going to determine the fee for the use of the park?
That'll be something that we'll need to bring back to the commission. Because I know we rent the park, like, let's say, for the baseball games or for little leagues or stuff like that, but I don't think we ever rented it for an event
Be
like
the
this.
first. That's what I'm asking.
But we'll bring it back.
What kind of fee do you have on those booths for?
We haven't those yet in place. I do know that, you'd have several items, but right now, we're not gonna throw out as many, because we're just trying to make sure that, we don't have 20 or 30 of them. We're trying to maybe do 8. I know that the mayor had asked that, to help them out, get back, is maybe have a booth for the EDC to sell the water and Cokes and something like that, in which I don't have a problem. We can work that out, but it just comes back to, first, the location.
It'll be kind of limited the time, because remember you got the cook-off, mainly where the vendors will start selling will be more like when the concert starts or
Yeah.
before the concert, so it will be limited.
You're looking the concert to run from like 2 to midnight.
to-
Yeah, because everybody has to play an hour set. Of course, the C and B bands would play the first 4 hours, and then all the big headliners would play right after that. So,
So we can, that's good, the ADC, and maybe 1 or 2, like, keep San Juan beautiful. That doesn't mean they'll take it, but at least they have a chance to consider putting a booth in, get involved in there.
and these are just things, like I said, I mean, first we gotta solidify everything, and then we move forward from there. Like I said, just like Mr. Ramirez said, what kind of fee are you gonna implement? I gotta look at that. There's a lot of things that I gotta look at. Right now, I'm the stakeholder. I'm the one that is, gotta make the decision where I'm gonna bring these acts to. And I gotta make sure, there's not a partnership, but there's a good agreement saying, hey, let's do this here and let's make it happen. So, like I said, it just depends on parking. And once I get that, in black and white, then I can move forward from there.
Oh, and then your sponsors that you have, the Miller Lite and Glaciers, are not somebody that are do something low-key. They go make sure that everything's, up to par, and they don't take a risk at anything. So I know you got good sponsors, that's.
We're
But-
good. I mean, like I said, it just goes back to the location. I mean, the location's great, and I just need parking. Once you give me parking, I mean, y'all come up with a plan, we can more likely move forward on it. And we actually came and did a walkthrough the other day at the park. I think it was, we had the event Saturday. Sunday, we came back just to take some, and I had someone from corporate down here, and we just took a look at it, and they liked the location, but they were just saying, where do we park everybody at? So it's like, well, that's the plan they're gonna come up with, so.
We might even consider the parking lot across HEB right in the corner of our,
That's something they did bring up. It would,
because with the trolleys, you can park it up there, and, we can probably get somebody from HEB too.
about 200 to 500
Yeah.
parking space.
and not everyone's gonna come in their car by themselves. Everybody's gonna probably carpool, so I mean, that's another thing, so.
Yeah, when you have 20,000, if you have, four per car, you'll get like 5,000,
Yeah.
maybe 4,000, because a lot of them, the walking distance will carry some of that, and then whoever comes out of town, you're gonna attract people from all sides of the valley,
Any other
All right,
questions?
so, I guess what would the motion look like then?
Well, it's not necessarily, we have in there for the purpose of the contraction, we don't, I guess, is there interest in the city?
Well, I mean,
And that's kind of precisely what the issue is. We're here for the purpose of the contract, because there's no contract.
because there is no contract other than
You know, but
keeping us out
based
of
on
liability.
on the conversation, the comments, I think it's something that, first, the city needs to, or the city manager, where the staff needs to find out whether they can identify the locations.
Right.
If they can, take them to Los Rios quickly, correct?
Hmm?
And then, okay, yes, we do, and then you all give the blessing.
So I guess from the city end, we need to authorize staff to identify, to move forward with the interest that we would engage.
Well, I think, Mr. Arjona, has heard the conversation.
Okay. And then at that point, depending what he finds, then we would be able to make
I
a,
guess it's gonna be from, between Mr. Arjona and Mr. Los Rios.
once that
Hey,
info is provided.
correct. Hey, this is it, and Mr. Los Rios, that suffices or not. And then it comes,
So, I mean, I know you're talking about like us looking and some kind of understanding or indication from us.
Well, I guess is, if I'm willing to stand here and talk to you about this event, are you all willing to be a part of this event? Would you all like to host this event? I guess that's $1 million question.
And I guess that's what I'm saying, is do we vote it as something like that, or?
based on the conversation, I think it is yes.
Yes.
But the way it was placed in the agenda as a contractual type of matter, they cannot go forth and say, yes, we want to do it, because it's not. But I'm saying, based on the conversation, that's why.
And then usually, like I said, on this, what I would require is I would come back in, send the city manager an email. One, I would request, fill out the paperwork on the agreement for the park. And then I would request that that park has been utilized for entertainment events as well. And then when he sends me that letter and I have all that documentation, then
From the park, then, if the council, because it is for a contractual agreement, even though all we need is to provide sufficient notice regarding an agreement. If there's going to be an agreement, I guess the council could, if they want to proceed, is authorize the agreement should there be sufficient parking. And then that shows the interest, that shows everything that I guess you all are talking about.
I mean, I would think, because,
But not for the services, but for the,
Right.
for the purposes of the park.
yeah, to
And
utilize the
if
location.
That shows that the city wants to do it, of course, contingent upon sufficient parking.
Yeah, parking would be one, and then like Mr. Ramirez brought up, on the fee. And I mean, that way, I want everyone to be comfortable that if we bring this event here, you all as city council, that everyone's in an agreement that this take place here. I don't wanna, I mean, easily, like I said, we have other locations that I can utilize, that I can rent. I like the facility here that you all have, and I wanna bring it here, but I also wanna make sure that all of you all are in agreement to hold it here.
or not to
As well.
sabotage what we're
I
trying to
mean,
get done.
I
I
mean,
agree.
we don't wanna put in all this effort because corporate's spending a good chunk of change on doing this event, and this is just 1 out of 11 that I'm doing this year. So I wanna make sure that everybody's happy. And that's why I'm targeting more of the municipalities that don't usually do such a big event, this caliber of bringing these acts in. So, I mean, if I would have come to this location before, I probably would have came and I would have brought you July 9th, Pesado, but we're doing Pesado in Palmview. And then now we have this one coming in August. I still got one in September, November, and December, and they're going to different locations. So it just comes back to the agreement, making sure that everyone is comfortable with saying, you know what, we can do this event here, we'd like to have it here, and everyone's happy with it. And then, of course, making sure that there's adequate parking.
Right.
Then we'd all say, hey, let's move forward. That way, when I go back and say, look, this is the location that I determined, and you met with one of the managers, the GMs from Glacier, the day that we spoke to him,
Yes.
and he told you, look, it's gonna be based on what I recommend. So at this point, look, I'm from Donna. I've been doing these events for so many years, especially with Coors, and now that they give us these opportunities, I just wanna take care of all the smaller towns that don't get these opportunities to do these big events. I mean, because I know a lot of them don't have the budgets to do it. So if they're giving you an opportunity to do an event of this caliber, I would take advantage of it. That's what I would
What I
say.
like to see as we look for proposed parking, I'd like to see the language on your contract that exonerates the city from any type of liability.
Yeah, no, and that's no problem, and like I said,
Myself
what
too,
we
I'd
would
like to
do
see
is,
that for us.
like I said, once, the first thing I would do is rent, I would have to get the agreement that you for the parks and see what that comes in entail, renting the location, and then from there, I would send you all, pretty much the letter indicating, look, this is what we'd like to do. This is what we would cover, $0 for the city of San Juan, XYZ, and then, we would hire your staff to assist us with this event, because they know the facility, they know the area, and from there, and after that, you all would pretty much say yes or no, because I'm sure when when you all have baseball games or something like that, or someone rents a facility, does it come back to the council? Or does it just go through the city manager?
That goes through the Parks Department.
Okay, so
Doesn't come to us.
that's really about it, but let's just go back, and really, the big picture here is just gonna be the parking, and we can solidify that, then I can come back and do the rest of the process.
Very good. So council just needs some direction, how to,
I would probably, move to approve agreement or lease agreement with, between the city and, what entity is it?
Full River Media?
Full River Media, for a park lease, subject to, sufficient parking and determining, fee.
all right, then. And put in a form of a motion, is there a motion to go ahead and approve a lease agreement between the City of San Juan and Cool River Media for the August 27th event taking place at the San Juan Municipal Park, subject to location of parking and the fee for rental of facility?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, sir. So what we'll do is we'll be in contact, city manager will be in contact with him about noonish.
Yeah, I'll get in contact with them, I'll send them an email, and then, like I said, we'll move forward, once he give me a map out, something that, we can park cars and all that, I'll get it all knocked out, and then that way I can get the quotes for the trolleys and the golf carts and all that, and the light towers, everything we need.
Keep repeating San Juan in all your advertisements. That's what's important.
We will. Thank you so much.
Thank
Mayor,
you,
Council.
sir. Appreciate it. I'd like to go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Aye.
All in favor state aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned at 6:11.